All right, so we're week 4, part 1 on the advent of code. So this one's relatively simple. It's not going to be like uh, the last one that we did, so you get a little bit of a reprieve. But we'll
Okay.
read it. So it looks like the chief's not here. One of the historians pulls out a device and pushes the only button on it. After a brief flash, you recognize the interior of the Ceres monitoring station. As the search for the chief continues, a small elf who lives on the station tugs on your shirt. She'd like to know if you could help her with her word search. She only has to find one word, Xmas. Now, this word search allows words to be horizontal, vertical, diagonal, written backwards, or even overlap in other words. It's a little unusual, though, as you don't merely need to find one instance of Xmas, you need to find all of them. Here are a few ways Xmas might appear where irrelevant characters have been replaced with a period. Now, that's not how it's going to look in the puzzle data that we get. It's going to look more like that. The actual word
Cool.
search will be full of letters like this. So it's going to be interesting. In this word search, in this one, Xmas occurs a grand total of 18 times. So here's the same word search again, but where letters not involved in any Xmas have been replaced with the period. Take a look at the little elf's word search. How many times does Xmas appear? Let's take a look at it. That's a little word search. So that's like a lot. So did you copy this and save it into your text document, your input?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's get it. There we go. So, whoops, I just opened up Docker. All right. So we already got it started, and I'm going to be typing incredibly slow today since I'm in like a cast. So we have our file system module, all that declared up there. Um, we got our try catch started, and we got that read file sync done, so it reads everything synchronously. The next part we have to do is we got to figure out how this is going to work. So this problem is asking us to find every occurrence of Xmas inside of what's essentially a grid where the word can appear in any of 8 directions. All right. It can appear up at top to bottom, bottom to top, left to right, right to left, diagonally, backwards, overlapping other letters. Um, various different ways. So the most reliable way to solve this is with what is known as a brute force approach or a brute force attack. So this means we will be like incredibly thorough in it. So what we need to do is figure out how we're going to visit every single cell in the entire grid, every single area inside of this input or text document. And then we need to figure out how we're going to treat each cell as a potential starting point for the word Xmas. And then from each potential starting cell, we will try to walk outwards in all 8 possible directions, one step at a time to see if we can build the word Xmas. So find it where it actually XMAS actually connect in every possible way. And then with every successful find that we have of the words in any direction, we'll have to add one to our counter to keep a running total of how many uh, Xmas's we have found, right?
Okay.
Doing it like this, that guarantees that we won't miss any occurrences because it's methodically going to check every single possibility. So we got our, let me go back to it. Got that. So we need to we need to start out our data parsing to create like a 2D grid basically. So we want to make a grid. So we'll const grid, and I think it's going to pretty much have the file content, trim, split, and map, line, split. Yeah, it would be everything but map and number. I'll explain that to you. Okay. So Uh, Now we're declaring our grid here, right? And inside the grid, we're calling our file content, which is our input document, right? Our trim,
Right.
the trim, if you remember from I think it was in the last challenge or the one before, that
Yeah.
removes any blank lines from the very start or the end of the file. The split uh, splits the file string into an array of lines, sorry. Um, the map line, that method transforms the array of lines. It runs a function on each line. So for the first line, uh, XM, it runs line.split, which results in X and then M. And then for the second line, which would be AS, it runs line.split again and results in A and S independently. So the final result stored in our grid is a perfectly structured 2D array of XMAS. Right? Um,
So map. I'm just looking at the map function again. So okay, it's trimming down the file, splitting it by white spaces, which is looking at the file is just when it starts on a new line. Like
Say that again.
so the once it trims off the white space, then all you have left is just the characters, right? And then it
Right.
splits it by the new line. That's a new um
Right. Make
line
sure
to
it's
be able
not
to do,
counting
right?
any. It's not counting any blank spaces that might be anywhere.
Okay. And then the map is taking those new lines from that new array and it's splitting it.
Well,
Um
it transforms the array of lines and then
mhm.
runs a function on each line.
And that function is that the line dot split that is being ran on the
Yes, that is
okay.
it. Yep, that is so. For the first line, it's running that, and then for the second line, it's running that, and it's trying to find every instance of XMAS in any way that it can. Okay.
So instead of splitting it by making a new array new with every new line character is making a new array with every and splitting it with just a space.
Right.
Okay. Okay. I think I'm just trying to make sure I understand the split method. That's starting to definitely, cement. I'm just making sure.
Mhm.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. So now we need to. Next step is we're going to store the dimensions of our grid so we can so it can be accessed at any time easily. So we'll start by declaring our number of rows.
Go in there and watch your show. Ooh, sorry about that.
Are you good? So we start by declaring our number of rows in our grid length, and then underneath of that, we will do number of columns. Oops. Pretty popular. So look at that. So the grid dot length gives us a number of rows, the number of inner arrays, in other words. And then the grid zero dot length gives us the number of columns, the length of the first inner, which is like the length of the first inner array. Okay, that's what both of those lines are. So then the next part, we need to tell it what word we're searching for, right? So we're going to store that word inside a variable and by doing that, it makes the code more readable and easier to change. Like if, for example, we wanted to search for a different word, but so I guess we'll call it I don't know, target word. We'll call it target word. Our next target word is not hello. It's actually going to be Xmas. since that's the word that we're searching for. Okay. Now, before I hit enter and the IntelliFinish thing gives away the answer, can you guess what's next?
The for loop.
Nope.
Oh,
So
okay.
we declared the word that we're looking for. We've built the grid. Now, before we
Oh, sorry. Is it
what?
the count where
Yep.
we have to declare the count to 0?
Yep. So, and how would we do that? How would it be typed out?
It'd be let um I don't know. I feel like I'm not good with coming up with like variable names. Let grid
Copy.
count.
Yep. Now it would just be let count equal 0.
Oh, let count equals 0. Okay.
Yep. And before we do a for loop, we need to give it the 8 directions that it's going to be able to search for these words. Now, there's a couple different ways to do this, actually. Okay. Um, we could write 8 separate blocks of code, right? But that would be incredibly repetitive and inefficient.
Hmm.
A much more elegant solution is to represent the directions as data. And what I mean by that is we would represent each inner array, or each inner array would represent the change in the row and the column to take one step in a direction. So I know I just confused you. So I'll show you. Const directions. Wow. Gave it away. So let me explain what this means. Okay. And I'm actually not going to start it like I don't know why I listened to the IntelliFinish there. So we're going to actually start at -1 and end at -1. So um, -1 would best way to describe this. Start with that. So -1 and 0. I can explain it with this way. I'm going to lead you. -1, 0 means you're going to subtract. You're subtracting 1 from the row, and you're adding nothing to the column, right? Which is
Okay.
which means you're moving up 1, right? Now, if you did 1, 1, that means add 1 to the row, add 1 to the row, and 1 to the column, which is a move down and to the right. So
So it works like coordinates.
exactly, it's like mapping coordinates.
Okay.
It's exactly what that is. So doing it this way, this allows us to use a single block of code inside of a loop to handle all 8 directions. Okay. So we'll start with up left, which is -1, not -41, but it's -1, -1. And if we just want to go up, it would be -1, 0. Do not forget to put commas after them. And if we wanted to go upright, we would be -1 and 1, not a period, comma. And if we wanted to go left, we would be 0 and -1. If we wanted to go right, take a guess what right would be.
1 and 0.
You have it backwards, but it would be 0 and 1.
Oh, yeah,
You
right, right, right.
understand? So if we want to go, what do we have here? We have up left, we have upright, we have left, we have right. We need down left, which would be 1, -1. That's down left. We need to go down, so that would be 1, 0. And how many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We still need down left, down right. We still need down right. So that would just be 1, 1. 1 and 1. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Those are our directions. Now comes that for loop that you were asking about. So
Wow, jump to the for loop. There's always more before that. I just go right for the for loop.
all right. So I'm going to apologize in advance.
Okay.
You remember how I was telling you how sometimes nested for loops are a bad thing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're going to use nested on top of nested on top of nested for loops here.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure we're going to have 3 for loops inside of a main one.
That
So
is insane. Okay.
yeah, it's going to work though, I think. So we're going to start with our outer loop, which its job is going to be to iterate through every row index from 0 to the last row. Okay. So 4, and we'll declare R stand for the current row. We'll say R is for the current row that we're on. And R equals 0. R would be less than numbers, and then R plus. Yeah, R to less than number of rows, and then R plus plus. And then actually curly brackets. So that's our outer loop. Okay. This, like I said, that's going through every row index from 0 to the last row. That's all it is. Now inside of that, we need to make our inner loop. We need to make one that for each row, it iterates through every column index, right? And we'll use C for column in there. Together, those two nested loops ensure that we're going to visit every single cell, row, and column in the grid. So
Right.
for let C equals 0, C less than num C plus plus, and then we're gonna, yeah. All right, you ready for another one?
Um, yes. I have
All
a
right.
question afterwards too. I have a question about nested for loops. Like, I guess, is it kind of like those? I don't even know what it's called, but like where you got the egg and then it's an egg inside the egg, but like you got to get through the first egg to be able to get to the second egg. So the first egg is important.
Yeah.
Um. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm ready.
I have some like pretty thorough uh instructions typed out on this for you that I'll email over to you also. Um, hopefully it'll help you understand it a little better. I might take them and put it through Chat GPT or something to expand on it even more for you. But I think I got pretty detailed with it. All right. So from here, the cell at grid row and column or RNC, that's going to be our starting point or our potential starting point. Now, from that starting point, we need to try and build a word in all 8 directions, right? So we need
Okay.
another for of loop that iterates through our directions array. And then on each iteration, the direction of the row and the direction of the column will need to hold the change for each one direction. So on like the first iteration, for example, the direction of the row would be -1 and the direction of the column would be -1 for up and left. So we just need to make a for of loop that iterates through every direction possible. So that would be for direction of the row, direction of the column of directions. And now we need to initialize an empty string to build the word Xmas that we find in the current direction. So we would do that with let word found equal, you go, empty string. Okay. Now, the next part is the word building loop, and it runs for the length of our Xmas. Right.
Okay.
And we'll use a letter to represent the number of steps that we're taking away from our starting cell, our row, and our column. I'll figure it out when we get there. So for my hand is killing me. Let k equals 0. K is less than target word length k plus plus. Good news is no more for loops. Don't think. Okay. Yeah, I don't think
So
so.
it's like 4. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I think I said we were going to do 4. Yeah. 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
4. Actually, we got that. So now we need to make our directional logic, right? And we need to calculate the coordinates of the next letter. So starting at R and C, the first letter, k equals 0, is going to be set at like I don't know, R. How will be set at something like, you don't have to type this out. I'm just doing it for me. Like R plus 0 times 0, probably do something like this. C plus 0 times BC. So I think that translates to R and C. Yeah, we're gonna try that. We'll give it a try. All right. So what we'll do is const. Nice little const. That isn't either. New row equals R plus K R. Do the same thing for new column. Equals C plus K to B city. This might not work. And that's not how you spell target. That's tis yet. Okay, so that should create a straight line of cells in any chosen direction. Yeah, I think that's gonna work. I'll go over this here in a little bit for you. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going through it. I should have practiced this one out before we did this one, but I didn't. So we need to try to read a character from the grid, and we need to make sure the coordinates we calculated are actually true and exist on the grid. So if new row is less than 0, as in like above the top, or greater than equal to the number of rows, or below the bottom. And we also need to check if the new column is out of bounds, because then we've gone off of the edge. So that would be, actually, that should be pretty simple. Actually, that would be, we're checking if the new row is less than 0. Okay. And we also need to check if new row, yeah, less than 0, or it's greater than and equal to the number of rows. So greater than and equal to number of rows. We need to check if the new column is less than 0. And then if the new column is greater than or equal to the number of columns, to the number of columns. Yeah. Yep. Okay. All right, let me go over that one more time. All right.
Okay.
All right. So I'll start from, let me start from the beginning.
Absolutely.
All right. So we're starting with our outer loop, right? Which is that.
Okay.
That's it. That's going through every row index, and that's what the R is, right? That's
Mhm.
going through every row index from 0 to the last row. Okay. That's all that's doing. And then it's adding 1 to each time as it goes through it, obviously. Again, that's our outer loop. Our inner loop, which is that one, that's going through every column. So you had the outer loop going through the rows. Now you need one to go through the columns also. So that's all that's doing. Okay. Those two are quite simple. From the next one inside, that one, we need to determine our starting points with that one. So, and we need to try to build a word in every direction possible. These, right? So
Right.
on each iteration, the DR and the DC that you see here,
Hmm.
they hold the row and the column, or they hold the row and the column change for one direction. Okay.
Okay.
That's all they're doing. They're holding the change for the row and the column of every direction. That's
Of the coordinates of, or the constellations, the ones we.
right.
Okay.
Yep. Yep. Um, and then the next one, and then it's every time it finds a word, it's adding it in there to our empty string. Every time it finds an Xmas. Sorry. And then our last for loop that you have there is the really big confusing one. So that's our word building loop. So it runs for the entire length of our target word. Okay. And I use the letter K to represent the number of steps we're taking away from our starting point, which is R and C, row and column. And then the const new row and new column, that's like the core of the directional logic. It's calculating the coordinates of the next letter. So you start at RC, the first letter would be K equals 0, is set at R plus 0 times dr for the row and column plus 0 times dc, which simply that's just r and c. Okay. Um, the second letter is k equals 1, which is uh, r plus 1 or c plus 1. And the third letter would be k2, k equals 2, which is r plus 2 or c plus 2, and so on and so forth. All I'm doing with that is I think I'm just creating a straight line of cells in the chosen direction. Um, but I haven't tested it out yet, so I could be wrong, and we might be troubleshooting this together. Okay.
Okay.
Usually I do these ahead of time, and today I didn't because I had a lot going on with work. This is what you'd call the safety check. So before we try to read a character or a letter, the XMAS, from the grid, we need to make sure the coordinates are that we calculate are actually valid and exist on the grid. So if new row is less than 0, or in other words, above the top, or greater than or equal to the number of rows, or below the bottom, or if new column is less than 0 or out of bounds, then we've gone off the edge. So we just, like I said, we just need to make sure the coordinates are calculated, that they're valid, and we're staying inside of this. Basically, all that's doing is making sure we're not going out of bounds on this, that we're not
That's
going too far to the left or too far to the bottom or to the top.
okay.
Okay. All right. And then the break. Do you know what break is? Did they ever go over that with you in Persevere?
Stop running the function.
Yeah. So break keyword that immediately terminates the innermost loop, which in this case is our word building loop. So you're right. That's exactly what that is. So after that, uh, we need to see if the coordinates are valid. We need to get the character at the position in the grid and put it into our word found string. So we need to add it to it. So we would be word found, add to our grid, new row and new column, new row and new column. Hmm. And then after the word building loop finishes or was broken out of, we need to check what we found. So if the word we built is exactly equal to our target word, so we need to make sure that it's XMAS. So let's do if word found is strictly equal to our target word. So all you have to do for that, and you guess what comes after that? Super easy.
Um, then do we do the console log? Console log?
Nope, almost that easy.
Okay.
It's the last step before that. So now we need to add it to our counter, right?
Oh,
We need to uh target word. It would be count plus plus. All right.
oh yeah. Okay.
All right. And now is your favorite part. Console.
That's hilarious. Okay.
What?
That is my favorite part.
Yeah. The word appears. Oh man, I can't freaking count. The word appears count times. And then I already put the error in there for the error handling. So it's relatively like short, but incredibly confusing. And I do have something typed up from when I did this a while ago that I did for somebody else, but I'll go over it and see how thorough it is, and I'll make changes to it if I need to send it over and send it over to you. But this should work. I'm almost scared to try it because I think I might have this part wrong. Are you keeping up?
Yes, I'm like almost finished typing the console log message and done. Okay.
Well, let's see if we get an error. We got an error. I love it.
Okay. Okay.
Error occurred. Type error. 4 is not iterable. Where is that at? 24, line 24. Is that what it said? Line 24? 24, 27. What's not iterable?
Wait, mine's works. I'm not sure where
Yours
mine.
work?
Yes.
Oh, it doesn't like me. Node solve JS. Type error. I have something I put somewhere that doesn't like me. It says it's on line 24, but oh, there, I bet you it's that. It said line 24, but it's truly line 17. I bet you that's it.
Wait, what happened?
So I had up here, I had the comma outside the square bracket or inside of it.
Oh,
I bet you that was it.
okay.
Yeah, there you go. 2,571 times. Let's see. See if I'm wrong. Oh, that's right. Wow. That's good. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to go through my thing that I have for um, when I did this last year or a few months ago, and let me see how in depth it gets for you on explaining this, and see, and I'll get it sent over to you for like sure.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be
This is like like the coordinates is brand new to me.
yeah.
Um that is like super cool.
Yeah, it's neat. Um, if I wasn't like all droopy from, I'm still like, I still got effects of anesthesia in me from the surgery. I promise you I would spend way more time with you tonight on it. Um, but I'm like literally sitting here falling asleep, unfortunately.
I appreciate you showing up, that's
Yeah, I'm sorry though. But I promise you I will look and see how it how in depth these instructions that I have go, and I'll send them. I'll send you what I have right now. Actually, let me stop recording.